house so loud, 3 boys running around. A baby girl so sweet, life's a hectic beat. Welcome back to our lovely chaos.
We are here.
Yes, we are. You can't hear that little beep when you start?
Yeah, the metronome, yeah, that's why I turn it off. Well, they can't hear it.
They can't hear it. No. You guys can't hear it, but it's this like annoying little beep, beep. It throws me off. But anyways, welcome back. So tonight we're talking about something real, how sometimes you have to change what's around you to become who you're meant to be. And that's like a touchy subject. I think for us it was like really hard to come honest about it and be able to talk about it, because it's not easy, you know, to like explain to others like why we did things, how we did them. Kind of like we're not explaining ourselves, but we're kind of, you know,
we're just doing it
and it's being real about it
on purpose. It's just how it's happening.
Yeah. And I think like it starts with like, I think the number one thing we started in order to basically, you know, change our surroundings to becoming us, I think it was getting rid of old habits that no longer served us. You know, and I think
the old habits that like became that constant circle that never resulted in anything positive. Yes.
And I think, I mean, I became a mom at the age of 24, 25, around that age. Well, I was 20. I had Julian. I was 24.
2014.
And I became 25 a few months later. Like 2-3 months.
No, al revés. You were 23 and then became 24.
Okay. Well, point being, I feel like I became a mother at a very immature age where I didn't understand much of my growth yet. I was still a child and I was having a child, right? I mean, I wasn't a baby. I wasn't anything like that, but I think things that, you know,
I mean, even for the people that say, oh, you can be ready to have a kid.
Yeah, you can be 40 and still not be ready and still be immature.
Yeah, it's a whole different beast to have a kid.
Yes, it is. Truly.
But yeah,
is.
we were still at that stage. I mean, we knew we met each other in high school, right? So we kind of knew each other, but we were still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Have we ever even talked about that?
About what?
How we actually became pregnant the first time. I mean, we were only dating for 8 months, but I don't think we explained that, did we? I know we did in the first episode.
Well, yeah, but quick review or what is it? Refresh. Yeah, I was told at a very young age. I think I was like 15 or 16. That I was not going to be able to have kids, like, you know. And so I had ovarian cysts that were so severe that was going to cost me to basically almost 99.9% of having a chance that I would never become a mom. And if I did want to become a mom, I was going to have to go through a lot of treatments. I was going to, you know, have to basically, what is it called? Go through treatments, you know. So I believed it. I believed it, and I kind of was like, okay, you know, I made peace with it. I was only 15 years old, guys, when I was told this. So when that happened, I went into a relationship. I was in a relationship for 7 years, and I was with this person, and I never ever took care of myself. And not that I was trying to have a baby or not. I was just, you know, it's that time of your life. You're immature. You don't know what you think. You're in love, but you know, things are just what they are.
Psych.
And so
she was waiting for me.
Yes, I was. And so at that moment, obviously you're gonna start to think like, oh yeah, the doctors were right, like I can't get pregnant, you know. Like it was like that moment where I was like, okay, it's true, I can't. So then, you know, I remember that after I broke up with that person, I, you know, started dating other people, and that was the first thing I used to tell them, like, you know what, like, just FYI, I know we're not serious. Or when I started to feel like maybe things were getting a little serious, I was like, you know what, just FYI, you know, like, I probably can't have kids. And I just thought I had to mention that just because, you know, I don't know, it was just important. And so when I got with Eric, we started, you know, being together, and the first thing, like I said, we started getting serious. He asked me to be his girlfriend, and I was like, okay, one thing you must know, I'm probably not going to be able to get pregnant because of this and that. I was told at a young age, and I told him my whole story, right?
And you know your boy, I said, that doesn't matter.
He was like, he literally said it like this: when the time comes, I'll get you pregnant.
Bam.
And so I was like, in my head, I was like, cocky, but who does this guy think he is? Like, I was like, first of all, we shouldn't be talking about pregnancy right now, but you know, that was
you brought it up.
I mean, you know what I mean, you know. So fast forward, you know, when you're in
I think it was at like 6 months later. No, not even like we literally told me like a month in, right?
What? Yeah, I told you like a month in that I couldn't. And so I told him, I was like, you know what, whatever. So in one of those moments, guys, that things were happening,
hold my beer. 8 months later, bam.
No, he was like, hold my beer, whatever. I came out pregnant. Honestly, even to this day, I mean,
we did freak out. Well, obviously we did.
We freaked out. I freaked out because during that time, I was already assigned to a modeling agency. I was like, you know, in the peak of like doing a lot of things in the entertainment industry. I was like thriving, guys. And so in that moment, I don't regret having my child. I love my oldest. He has been the best thing that has ever happened to us.
They all have been.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, they all have.
Yeah, that they all happen. But obviously in that moment, you freak out. Eric is not even 21 when I'm telling him this news. He was on his junior year of college. And no, you were a senior.
I was already a senior.
He was a senior in college, and I freaked out. His parents are such strict parents. Not in a bad way, but they're such strict parents that I freaked out. And
I did too, you know. It's like, oh crap.
He did too. And obviously I'm Catholic. I was raised Catholic, knowing that abortion would never be an option. And I still think that till this day, everybody has their own opinion, their own situations, and that is respected. But in my case, it just wasn't an option. And so,
well, obviously we won't get into it now, but there's those situations where they could be, at least in my opinion, or abortions.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in that's why I said everybody's situation is different.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know, but in my case, and I was healthy. There was nothing that, you know, we did it. We were in love. You know, we did it because we knew what we were doing, you know. So it's not like, oh, oops, you know, I did it again. Oopsie doopsie. Like, no, we knew what we were doing. And I'm like, this child has no, like, it's not his fault, you know.
I mean, we didn't even know until
I think I was almost like a month and a half.
The little thingy said three plus
and the only
something.
reason I decided to take a pregnancy test is because I remember that I had been eating Domino's pizza for 2 weeks. Every time Eric was like,
it was 2 weeks.
It was like 2 weeks when we went to when he took me to Lake Arrowhead. That's all I wanted, Domino's. And then we came back.
Yeah, we went for like a little weekend type of thing.
Yeah, he took me for my birthday. And all I wanted, I told him, I was like, I just want pizza. But I wanted
like 2
Domino's.
days in a row. Yes. That was crazy.
And then we came back.
And we watched Harry Potter. That was a good.
Yeah, we watched Harry Potter. It was
I rented. Great. That was when renting was still a thing.
Red box was still a thing. Do you guys remember the red boxes? Yeah, that's what
for those of you in Colton, California, it was Star Video. I think I went to Star Video.
And so, you know, we went, whatever. So I obviously, it was a very hard transition for the both of us. Him being a senior. My mom was giving
us the eye.
Yeah.
She was
I told
her, she was
you.
like, why is she sick?
His mom, let me tell you, my suegra can see right through you. Like, if you're pregnant, she'll know right before you even know. If you did something bad, she knows. If something bad's gonna happen in a few days, she won't know. She will dream it and then be like, I knew already. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, you know, but I'm kind of the same.
Yeah.
We don't want to say that we're, what are they called? Like vision,
videntes, yeah.
like videntes, because I don't, you know, that's, I don't know. But, yeah, a lot of the time, so I feel her. We connect, we understand each other. But yeah, she would see right through me. She was like, I knew already. And I'm like, oh.
Every single time we got pregnant, she was like,
I already knew. And I'm like, I didn't know.
My nana too. My nana's...
She's wild. She's awesome, but she's wild. So yeah, guys. So obviously we both didn't start our lives how maybe a lot of you plan to start your lives. You know, maybe like, you know, you're ready to have a child. You got married through church, because that was my plan, get married through church first. Obviously, mine you know, too. With the love of my life and like whatnot, but God had better plans for us, and these were his plans, you know. So like I said, it was just a very hard transition. When we had Julian, I feel like we both were how do you say, traumatically thrown in the lion pit.
The lion's den?
Yes. And not that Julian was the most calmest baby. He used to sleep so much, like so much. So at the age of like 2, I think, yeah, like he was such a calm baby. He was such like, he was just an angel. But even then, guys, it was really hard because, you know, Eric had just graduated. I was like figuring myself out, you know, because I had to go, like I said, from this life that was like, you know, modeling, acting, entertainment, being to like, now you're a mother, now you're staying home. And don't get me wrong, I could have probably taken a different route, but that's just the way that I felt, that I needed to be present for my kid, being there, you know. And I still try to do me on the side, but it was just a growing experience. So obviously time went by and we kept being on the same loop, you know, kind of like doing the same things, hanging out with the same people.
And we had to learn the hard way that, because I mean, for the longest, me too, I was like, oh, you know what, I can't do things that I want to do because, well, obviously now I have a family. And that was the one thing I struggled with, because I was like, well, it's either going to be me or my family type of thing. Yeah. And like I remember that was hard.
I remember you were gonna go to what is it? UCLA for paralegal.
Yeah,
everything was ready to go. And he didn't end up going because he's like, I told him, I was like, well, you know, don't worry about me and Julian, like we'll be okay, you know, like it's not like we need a lot right now. And he was like, no, like I need to take care of you guys, you know. And so like he decided to not continue his education further in that aspect. But like I said, God always has his plans, right? So yeah, we obviously kept, you know, partying. We still kept going with the same people. Not that the people were bad, but instead of us understanding that we needed to focus on ourselves, it was just a focus on, you know, being in I don't want to say present in those moments, but like we were just trying to live, you know, what we weren't able to live.
We weren't living intentionally.
Yeah, we weren't. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, time passed. I mean, it got to the point where like I was drinking so much every weekend, and I feel so bad now thinking about it, because there was times where like we were drinking and like before anybody starts like, you know, throwing shade on me, my kids were always safe. There was always an adult present, and usually it was my suegra. Thank God, she doesn't drink. She's such a she is like, what is it called, like she's like our Mother Teresa in the family. She is so kind. She is so like, she's just a kind, loving, helpful soul, you know. So she was always there, like protecting us and taking care of us and taking care of us. All right,
now you're making it sound like we were both getting super drunk.
No, what I'm talking about
I know,
is like,
but she was always being there, helpful. Yeah. I mean, when she was like, when Natalie, my love over here, was drinking like that, I wasn't drinking like that. So it was either one or the other, unless we were home.
Yeah.
But still, we wouldn't get super trashed.
Yeah, like, you know? There was never, obviously, like situations like that.
Oh, there was only one time, I don't know what happened, that we both got like that. Remember?
Visalia?
Yeah.
Well, that was a wedding.
Janie's birthday. Janie's wedding.
Yeah, don't ask what happened.
Yeah.
But it was those situations, you know, and in that moment, you don't really realize, like, oh, like, and like I said, no shade to if you want to live your life, that's perfectly fine. But in that moment, it was like starting to become like a life check for us, you know, like what are you guys doing, you know? And it got so intense, and not because we were drinking. It got so intense to the point where like every weekend it was like we were partying. We weren't drinking every weekend at a certain point, but we were going to parties.
Well, we weren't drinking that much.
Yeah, but
yes, we would
still
drink every time, but not like crazy. Maybe we would have like a drink or two.
Yeah. But I think it got to a point where like I told Derek, I was like, this doesn't feel right anymore, you know? And I think the reason why it didn't feel right anymore, it was because I wasn't feeling present anymore. I felt like I was just going to satisfy others' needs. Like, you know, I was being there because, you know, people were like, oh, like, let's go here, let's go to bar, let's go party, let's go. And I was like, okay, you know, and like, I guess you can kind of say I was being a people pleaser, even though like unintentionally I'm not a people pleaser, you know what I mean? I don't know if there's this kind of, that's even proper, but you can actually be a people pleaser without being a people
without
pleaser.
Trying to. It's it's an unconscious situation.
Yeah. And so, you know, we were starting to do that, and I got to a point where I told Eric, I was like, you know what, no, I don't want this anymore. Like, I don't, you know, I want to change. I want to make a difference for me. Actually, it was just for me, because like I said, this wasn't affecting our kids at any point. Like, if we were drinking,
we never drank
us
to get like where it was messing
like our kids or anything, or nothing like that. We were always smart enough to control and what is it called, like, be aware,
be safe about it,
be aware, and be aware, you know, of when we were, you know, in the situations. But either way, like, I felt like we were having that sense of like, this isn't for us anymore. And Eric too, he was like, you know, and don't mind that we still like having a beer here and there, or a drink, or a cocktail.
Except these past, what has it been now, 5 months?
Yeah, 5 months where we went cold turkey.
Drank,
for many reasons.
I mean, Julian was born 14. When did I try doing CHP? 2015? Yeah, since then I've stopped drinking a lot. Like, before that, man, could I drink. Yeah,
because Eric tried to be a cop. I know, right? Like, he's handsome enough and he's hot enough.
Right.
But he was just but
yeah,
that was just not in God's plans. God didn't. I think you did it for like 3-4 years.
I tried 3-4 times,
and I think being in the process,
I passed everything correctly. It's just honestly my background. I did some things I wasn't supposed to
in college. Hanged out with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Or was in the wrong places at the wrong time, to say the least. You know, but I think honestly, Eric trying to be a CHP changed his mindset a lot.
Yeah,
he saw things very differently. He started hanging out with
sometimes
people.
when I stand and I go certain places, they're like,
he stands like a cop.
Do you used to be in the military?
Yes.
Like, what branch were you?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I know. I mean, thank you to our veterans. Thank you for your service and everything.
Yes,
to all the cops out there, firefighters, anything to do with service. Like, thank you so much. But yeah, I've never done it. I tried.
Sometimes I'm like, why are you standing like a cop? Like, people are gonna think like you're an undercover cop. Cause like sometimes he's wearing all black and then he's just like standing there, and I'm just. I
mean, come on, I look good in black.
Yeah, he does. So like I said, so I think his mindset started to shift there too. And, you know, slowly but surely, like I said, God has always been present in our lives, but God started to make his way into our lives even harder. And I think that was during COVID, you know. I think it was during COVID because we were so excluded from the world, you know, and
everybody was.
Yeah, obviously,
We all went
right?
through it.
So I think that's when God started to hit harder in us, at least in me, you know, because I was like, dude, like, not that I thought the world was coming to an end, but I started to see how our society, how humanity, is
Not just
sometimes
that was
so
the time where you went.
disconnected.
That was the time where you were pregnant with Alec, and then you got your rhinoplasty too.
In the same year.
What eso?
Well, yeah, well, I had him and then I got my rhinoplasty.
Yeah, that's my point though. So it's
and
like,
so
that's when you thought you had cancer.
yeah, you guys, like, it's been a roller coaster of emotion.
Yeah.
So like I said,
and then because of the rhinoplasty, you started bleeding that one time a lot.
So yeah,
that freaked her out.
so when
You see her, she's like a really strong person, but sometimes with the smallest little things,
I freak out.
She freaks out.
It's like, and I don't try to make it, you know, like that. It's just, I freak out.
Yeah.
So
she goes down rabbit holes online, just looking. It's like, oh, what happens if this happens?
So
and
like,
then she
guys,
goes down into another place, and then to another thing, and another thing, and another thing.
Yes, like,
it's hard. It's hard.
It's hard, but he loves me, so he's gonna keep taking it.
Obviously.
But I've learned how to like not do that anymore, unless like I'm like, okay, I'm passionate. I'm not gonna think the worst. Like, I'm just gonna get educated. That's my way. I like my the way I do it now. It's that way, right? I'm just getting educated. This isn't you. This isn't your situation. You're just gonna educate yourself. But yeah, I was to the point where like my finger would hurt, and I was like, I'm gonna investigate it. And at the end of the day, like, I was thinking that I had cancer, like finger cancer, like, or like I had this like horrible illness on my finger, and then the next day my finger was fine. So it was really bad, guys. Like, I think, and like I said, this started happening during COVID. And so I had my nose surgery like that same year. And I remember that, you know, we got home. I was fine the first 3 days. And then I had a very severe, like, bleeding, like nosebleed. But it was, like, intense. And the first time that, you know, that it happened, I passed, like, well, I didn't pass out completely, but I semi fainted, you can say. And I ended up in the hospital.
I mean, she's never had a nosebleed, so
yeah. So
well,
I
at least
freaked
not
out.
like that. You know, everybody gets nosebleeds, obviously, not like crazy. Like me, ever since I've been a kid. Well, I mean, recently it's been a lot better.
Yeah, thanks to changing our lifestyles.
Yeah, but yeah, when I was a kid, I would get nosebleeds like nothing.
Yeah.
There was one time when we were dating, we were outside. And then all I remember is just sniffling, like, but we were making out. And then I was like, she's like, what is that? I was like, oh, I think I'm getting allergies. And then we check and she got the blood all over her nose, too.
Yeah, that's the kind of...
That was crazy.
Things that I went through in our relationship at the beginning. Yeah. Literally. Era bien sangrón. But anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that, and then
you too, once a month.
Be quiet. And so after that, you guys, like, it happened again. Point being, I ended up in the hospital. Literally, like, I thought I was gonna bleed out and die. Obviously, I didn't, because it was normal because of the situation. But I remember sitting there, and I will never forget that day. I was sitting there and I was crying. And now I think about it and I laugh at it. And you guys, things like this, when you're in the moment, if we laugh about it, don't get it wrong. Like, we were going through it, but in the moment, you don't think about it like that. Now I think, I'm like, what? Why would I even say that? You know, but I was in the moment and I was bleeding. Like it was like nonstop. I think I was bleeding for like an hour, like nonstop.
No.
Yeah, like until they stopped it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess.
Well, point being, I was telling, and I remember that I turned to one of the nurses. It was a guy, and I was like, dude, like, I'm gonna bleed out and die. And he looks at me. I think he tried to not laugh, but he looks at me and he's like, ma'am, you would have to bleed out like a pint. Like, he said, like something. Like, and he's like,
no, like three 3 pints?
Yeah, he's like, in order for you to bleed out and actually go into like shock, he's like, you're not even 1% there. And I was like, oh. But in my head, I didn't think about it in my head. I'm like, I'm dying, you know. And so that was the start of me really noticing what was important in life.
The average,
you know,
an average adult human body contains approximately 10 to 12 pints of blood.
Yeah, he told me 3 was like when you start to like, what is it, like
to get woozy.
Yeah, woozy, and start like oh my god, I can't say the word. Compulsing? No. Convulse. You guys know what I mean, right? Convulsing. But point being, you know, I started really having like a life change in that moment. I had like an epiphany, you can say, where I was like, why am I wasting my life just, oh wow, that's a lot of blood. Why am I wasting my life just, you know, not living? Because honestly, guys, that wasn't living. That was just surviving. You know, we were surviving by going out and like, I guess you can say, partying it up and like doing what we thought.
I mean, yeah, it's living, but
not what we, honestly, I think both of us felt in our souls and in our hearts. Because guys, your souls and your hearts do know what you're meant for, what you're destined for. But if you don't listen to them, you're gonna be stuck in that like constant you know, whirlpool, or like that constant just like negativity, bad situations and whatnot. And so I think we both knew that we were meant for something bigger, and that was the beginning of it, like changing that mindset. And guys, mind you, the people around us weren't bad people, or like they weren't like out to get us, or like, but it was just not for us anymore. Like those weren't like what we were supposed to be. We weren't meant to be there. And so yeah, I think that's where we started to our mind had like that break, or where we separated that thought of like, just like I said, surviving. To me, it felt like surviving to actually starting to live and have a purpose, because we all have a purpose.
So to translate, it's like kind of like a monotone. It was just a monotone way of living.
Like it was I felt like survival.
So like it was just like basic, like barely there.
Like I said, we were making good money, but it was like survival. Like we were surviving. We were surviving. I couldn't invest my money into other things. I couldn't think of like, oh yeah, one day, like, you know, I'm gonna become an entrepreneur, like I'm gonna become a business person that will, you know, do great things and create products and like create all these things that now we're creating, right? Like I didn't see that happening in that survival mode we were stuck in. And so after that, we changed our environments. You know, we still have our friends. We're still friends with our friends, you can say, but not in the same aspect. Like if we hang out, and that's another thing, I feel like people have this misconception that you have to cut out people, and like just because you're changing, and like never talk to them again and never hang out with them again.
I mean, for those toxic people, obviously, yeah,
there was some toxic people that,
even if you've known them forever, like if they're that toxic, like, hey, they don't belong in your life, you know.
Yeah, like there's a few people that we cut them off completely, because they were very toxic, and we didn't need them in our lives, you know. And yeah, I mean, we don't wish them no harm. We just wish them well, and you know, for them to be happy and have a happy life, you know, but just not in our circle, not in our life, you know. And so yeah, but like I said, like, you know, like we still hang out with like our family. My family are big drinkers. They're very big drinkers, and so is Eric's family. They're both big drinkers, you know. And we still hang out with them. We still hang out with my best, like I have a best friend, you know. I still hang out with you know, like our compadres. Like they weren't the problem, you know. It was just the way we were living our lives with them, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to put it.
So like, we're still hanging out, we just don't drink anymore, you know. We're still hanging out, we just don't stay up till 3-4 in the morning.
Yeah, like,
you know?
Now it's just like, okay, the latest, what, maybe 1 that
maybe
we're out.
You know,
I mean, unless it's just me and my wife here.
Yeah.
And the other day we just stayed up till like 3 in the morning.
But it was fun. We were having fun, you know. So we started changing that because we knew that the next day we wanted to wake up and be productive. The next day
we knew obviously that our kids are gonna get up, and then obviously how we're gonna have them running around and us still in bed.
Yeah, and like, obviously we still want to hang out with our family members. We still want to hang out with, you know, I have brothers with my cuñadas. Like, I still love them and I still want to hang out with them. It's just not the same way. It's not the same mindset, you know. And I think that's when people start saying like, oh, but it's because you change. No, it's not that I change. It's just that I don't want to.
Even if that is the case, like, accept us.
Oh yeah,
you know
and that
I mean?
too. Like, I think like you should have accept people. It's like me saying like, well, then stop drinking. No, like, I enjoy, I still have fun if they're drinking, you know, like, they're still doing their thing. If they want to like party,
it's like when that phrase is, oh, it's because you changed. It's like, well, yeah, that's what I mean.
What duh. You know. And I think that's when you know when people are meant to be in your life, when they're able to take that change and stay with you, you know. Yeah. And I think another thing that started to be very addicting is, for me at least, it was aligning. I started to, when I was, you know, before we started to make that change and becoming us by changing our environment, I felt like there was never an alignment. I never felt like there was actual growth. I never felt like I was having a purpose, you know. And when I started doing this, I started actually becoming friends with other people that I probably would have never been friends with before. And not because I wouldn't have thought they were like cool people or like fun to hang out, just because I probably would have been like, oh, maybe they don't, you know, we don't have nothing in common. But now that, you know, like I said, we're so into so many things.
We had the mindset where it was just like limited, you know. Like, okay.
Yeah, we thought that we couldn't be
and
friends.
In my perspective, I don't want to say my perspective, but at least me personally, I mean, I'm not blaming it on us having kids, but I didn't think of I was capable. I knew I was capable, but I didn't think about reaching higher, because I was like, oh, if I do that, then then the kids can get affected. I'm not gonna be home as much. Yeah,
Eric always put like
I did always put others before me, and in this case, it was the kids.
And not only that, he was always thinking about like the kids being harmed or being like
when in reality, that's not the case.
It's been literally the opposite. The kids have been so enlightened by seeing us grow. Like, I feel like them seeing us grow has
gets them more motivated,
and has made them evolved into children that I manifested. Like, I felt like I always said, my kids are gonna be smart kids, my kids are gonna be artistic, my kids are gonna be, you know, like entrepreneurs. Like, honest.
Like the other day, for all you Devil Wears Prada
fans, me,
I guess me too.
he cannot deny it was a good movie, and he had a blast that whole day with me being a fangirl of the movie.
Shit, I waited in line for the popcorn bucket. I don't know if you guys have seen the social media post that we posted where I, you know, grabbed the little purse to go to the store while I was eating the popcorn. But we waited in line and everything in the morning. We did that. And the point is, we waited in line. The kids were with us, and obviously you can see outside of the AMC that they had people there. And then Iker, he was like, our 7-year-old, he was like, oh, you know what, when I become a man, he didn't say grow up. When she said when I become a man, he's like, I want to do what they do. He was talking about the people, like the workers inside. I was like, I looked at him, I was like, are you sure? Or you know what, why don't you just own one, a theater? I was like, yeah, you're right. You know what, I was just gonna own one, and then I can just, you know, watch all the movies that I want. I was like, there you go, you know, that's better.
So or like the other day he was telling Julian, he was like, so where do you want to live? What are you gonna have a Ferrari? Are you gonna and I was like, what? He's like, yeah, mom, like, are you gonna have a Ferrari, or are you gonna have like a what was he saying, a Tesla? And I'm like, how are you going from a Ferrari to a Tesla? First of all, I don't understand that. But I was like, which one are you going to have? He wants a Tesla so bad. I don't know why he wants a Tesla so bad, but that's what he wants. Yeah. And, you know, and so like little things like that where it's like, it's little ambitions where I'm like, okay, you know. And so, or they'll be like, oh, do you want to live in New York, or are we going to live in LA, you know? And so they'll like be debating where they're going to live. And to me, it's like, I love that. I love that they are already exploring. Their mind is
open to, doesn't matter.
To exploring.
It's not limited.
Yeah, and exploring.
It's not like, oh, we're going to stay in the Inland Empire. It's like, no, we're, you know, we can go to New York. We can go to LA. We can go to Italy. Because they're always asking too, it's like, oh, so when are we going to New Jersey? When are we going to Italy?
Or like, it's also, I noticed like lately, it's so cute, and I think it's so cute that they never exclude us from their plans. They probably, when they grow up, they're not gonna freaking take it. You know, they're not even gonna remember. But it's just the fact that right now that they are excited to be like, oh, mom, but you know, when I get bigger, I'm gonna take you here, and mom, when I get bigger, I'm gonna do this for you. And I'm like, we'll see when we get there, you know. But I just love it that they're so motivated, like, by seeing us like be happy and thriving about our lives. Like, I feel like that is. But going back to getting aligned, I think when I started doing a lot of meditation. I would wake up in the mornings and literally lay in bed and meditate and meditate. And guys, I'm gonna just throw it out there, because Eric was guilty of this. He didn't believe in manifestation. He believed of it, but didn't believe of the power and the actions of doing it.
And it's funny because I knew how powerful my mind actually is, like, but I was more afraid of it. Like, I was afraid of success because I knew I can reach it, but I guess, and deep down subconsciously, it's like, what would I do with it? You know?
And so I would sit there, right? And like,
and that's that's where like I was limited myself. So it's like I was limiting myself. There we go.
And so I would, you know, wake up and I would sit there, guys, and I literally would manifest my life. Like, this was maybe 5 years ago, and I would sit there and I would manifest, and I would sit there, and you know, and like sometimes I'm like, God, like I know the power. Like, I am your daughter. I am the daughter of a king, and like, what does a princess have? She has a castle. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm gonna have a castle, and I'm gonna, you know, like, I literally manifested all of that. And so fast forward, you know, so I would do that, and so I would manifest, and slowly but surely I started to feel aligned. Things started to happen. People started to come into my life. People that had left came out of nowhere and were like a light in my life, with words of wisdom, with like just I don't know, it was amazing, right? Like I have this friend, his name is Jonathan, right? And we've always been friends, we've always been connected, but out of nowhere, like, we started talking, and he came back into like my life, or we came back into each other's life in such a different way that it was just like, I don't know, we talk about it all the time, where we feel like we were both, like, our souls were aligned to come together in this time. And it's just so lovely, because every time I've had something that I wasn't sure about when it came to like my life and alignment, he always had an answer. And it was just so like, it was just so nice. And I think when you align yourself and you start to grow with that, so does your surroundings. So like I said, you change your surroundings, but those surroundings starts to change as well with your growth, right? And so I started to manifest. Like I said, I became such a believer in all of that, you know, prayer, just grounding myself, like, you know, burning sage in our home, like, you know, just knowing that God had everything in control. Everything was in God's control, and nothing was in my control.
And there's a lot of people that say, obviously, like, manifestation and burning sage and like crystals, it's not, it can also Dios, but like, he created those things, like, so obviously he he's the one that put it on this earth for us to use it. So,
and like technically I don't know if you guys know, but like Catholics, the priest burn sage at church. Like that's what you smell at time. El incencio, that's
exactly
sage.
the same thing. It's
So
Palo Santo.
Yeah, like I'm not doing witchcraft up in my home. I'm just burning it and praying. Like that's it. And you don't understand the peace that we feel after burning sage in our home.
We haven't done it in a while because I keep forgetting. But
the peace.
Yeah, I'll probably do tomorrow.
He prays. We pray the peace, the calmness. Like it's so.
And it's actually
grounding and peaceful.
What's the thing we saw about it? It's called smudging. And it actually acts as an antimicrobial.
Oh yeah.
Basically, it cleans the microbes.
It filters the air.
And filters the air, yeah.
Yeah, so things like that, and so, like I said, you start to align yourself and things start to change around you. And not only that, I think, I don't know for you, I felt like I started to change as a person, not only like spiritually, but physically. Like my body felt different. The way I didn't feel heavy on my shoulders. And I think it's because like I was giving it to God. Like I was praying on it. I was like, you know what, God, here you go. And I'm just gonna manifest and pray on it and like, give it all to you. And like, you do what you need to. You work your magic. I'll just be here waiting nicely, patiently for things to happen. I mean,
we'll work towards it as well.
Obviously, yeah. Don't think that you're just gonna sit on your. What I meant by just sitting, meaning like I'm gonna do my part. But I'm not gonna worry about it.
Your hands,
And like the other day I just went to NALIP this Friday, which was a great.
But explain what that is. What's that
so
for?
NALIP is National Association of Latinas in Independent Production or something. Eliana is waking up, but yeah, so basically it's a community where Latinas come together or Latinos come together to basically talk about film and like talk about what's going on in the industry and what's like supporting each other in this industry as women, empowering voices and shaping the future of media, through our Latin culture. And so it was such a great experience. I met so many people. I made new friends. I made new connections. It was just so enlightening. And what I told Derek, I think what made me more happy being there is the empowerment that you feel, the positivity,
the sense of camaraderie.
Yes, that like I felt like I had just gained like 20 new friends that I could just hit up and be like, hey, let's go, let's talk, let's create, let's be creatives, let's just roll this industry. And it's not just about the industry, but it's about making everything just decided to turn on right now, making that difference, as women and as Latinos in the entertainment industry, because I think it's our time. And so like I said, it's just the alignment that happens through you connecting yourself and changing your surroundings and having that growth. And maybe even relationships or routines that had to shift in order for you to get here, and like I said, I went to NALIP and I met this amazing guy, and we sat there and we talked about what did I tell you, like 30-45 minutes, and we sat there, we talked about business, we talked about the industry, we talked about projects he's working on, projects I'm working on. And he said this very interesting thing that he's like, basically same thing, has a story, how he made a drastic change into this industry. He was actually in the tech industry. He was a great tech person. He was like, I was making money like no other, in New Jersey. But he wasn't happy, he was very, very unhappy, he says. And so he says that his pivotal moment is seeing his sister give birth. Eric always corrects me. I don't know. why I keep saying give to birth when it's give birth. I apologize, but he said that seeing his sister almost die and his nephew almost died gave him that moment of open his eyes to realizing that how could he want to be continue to be unhappy when somebody went through so much pain to bring him into this world. And I was like, oh my God, like that is so true. He's like, why would I choose to live an unhappy life when somebody went through so much pain to bring me into this world, right? And so guys, like that right there, like it's like your cue, you know, like we didn't come into this world to be unhappy. And yes, there's a lot of times that we will go through things. There's a lot of times that, you know, it won't be easy. We will go through things that it will tear us down, break us apart, like, you know, bring out the worst in us at times. And, you know, we just gotta remember that somebody didn't go through so much pain to bring us into this world to be sad, you know, to be unhappy, to be angry with the world. Like, I mean,
it's not reaching our full potential.
It's not reaching your full potential, you know. And it's so like there's nothing more important than peace, than your inner peace. And I think that starts by trusting God, leaving everything in his hands, you know,
changing your mindset
and changing that mindset. And it starts by your surroundings. It doesn't always mean that the people around you are bad. It just means that your surroundings, if you understand that part, the surroundings, how you view it and your mindset is what's making the difference, you know. And so like now Eric's a big believer of, you know, that God has those, you know, manifestation, and like he knows now that God is on his side and not against him, you know. I mean, I don't think you've ever thought he's against you, but
no, obviously not. It's just I let my mind
be more powerful in that sense.
Yeah, I was too negative on myself. I was being too hard on myself. Like that was always the big issue. And now it's like I'm able to know how much I am capable of. And it's wild. It's crazy.
Yeah, like, and I mean also guys, like I think even like we talked in the last episode, changing what we eat, like that also had a big impact. It's not just about, we talked about alcohol because I feel like that's one of the things that does,
at least for us. I mean, some people it's drugs, some people, and it doesn't have to be alcohol and drugs. It can be something that's an addiction for you. It can be, I don't know, sugar. Playing in the casino, eating too much sugar, eating junk food. Guys, you don't understand how bad it is to eat so much junk food. I mean, don't get us wrong, it's really good, you know. Like sometimes I pass through like the Taco Bell. I know it's like one of the worst ones thing, or whatever. Everybody says it's chorro for sure, but I just really like Taco Bell. I haven't gotten it in, when was the last time we went?
I have no idea.
Okay, I mean,
I think I was pregnant from Eliana, no?
Maybe. So we've been together for 13 years. And together, maybe I've been to Taco Bell like 5 times. And the last one was like, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah.
His mouth is watering right now.
It is. I mean, I don't know. When I was in high school, they had the beefy fire layer burritos with the the hot Fritos. Oh my goodness, those were delicious.
That does not even sound appetizing to me.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have it anymore, but those were delicious.
Yeah, no,
and they were only $1.
Oh my God, that's a steal. That's when you know it's not good for you, when it's $1.
Obviously,
you know, that's when you know they're selling you garbage. And so see, like that's one of the things that and like I said, there's always a balance for everything. It doesn't mean that he's never gonna try Taco Bell or Del Taco or whatever, you know. But I bet you once he's there, he's gonna be like, oh no, it smells raunchy. Like it has happened to him. Like, well, he'll be like, it's just me, or like, does it smell? I was like, no, the smells gross you out because you're not used to it anymore. Like you're not used to eating that type of stuff, you know. Or he'll eat.
I was like, where was I going with the way I was gonna say? But So changing our
diet.
Our diet, that did help a lot. Like, I don't know, have we talked? Yeah, we've talked about like not wearing deodorant. Like, I don't wear deodorant. I mean, there's days that I do.
Delicious.
There's days that I do, but it's like, it's only if for some reason I feel like I'm like really stanky.
If I could, I would make him make me another baby, but we have closed that shop. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No more babies.
Yeah.
I only wear deodorant if like for sure I know it's gonna be a hot day, and I have multiple appointments that maybe I am gonna stank like pits, but even then, like, I think I smell, and then Natalie, she's like, oh, you don't smell honey bunches of oats, like, you smell good.
Yeah, like, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Or like, maybe I'm so used to it, but then again, like, he doesn't. He really doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so, like I said, like, even that, like, eating junk food has such a big, like, I think it's been, like, clinically, what is it, like, proven that it causes depression. Like, it causes your mind to think negative thoughts and
Mm-hmm.
for you to like not feel your best. And so like just think about that, like the next time you want to go to Taco Bell or eat a bag of Doritos, which, like I said, there's a balance for everything, but there's times where people will eat that on a daily basis or eat out on a daily basis, and it's like, think about it, that's your health, like that's your lifespan, that's like your mindset. Like, you need to change your surroundings in order to be where you want to be.
Because I mean, I've been trying to lose what I was like at 200 pounds. I've been trying to go back down to like 175.
I told you guys I wasn't gonna let this go.
I'm not gonna let that go. I tried for the longest. What has it been, like 10 years?
Yeah.
And I'm at 181.
And he feels,
all I did was stop drinking. We stopped drinking soda. The only day we drank soda was Friday Thursday. Okay, so what we did on Thursday when we watched The Devil Wears Prada, we took we talked about that already, huh? Yeah, because it was on Thursday. Yeah. We recorded on Thursday too?
Yeah.
Oh my.
We're on fire.
Yeah, but we didn't even we didn't say we went to go watch it.
No, I don't remember. No,
because we recorded on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, Thursday we went to go watch Super Mario.
Point being.
Yeah, we watched and we drank soda that day. That's the only time we drank soda.
I only had one sip.
Girl.
A big one.
We had a big ass thing.
No, I only sipped it. When I sipped it and then I gave it to you, that's it.
The Sprite?
I didn't have Sprite.
Yeah, we had Sprite. I know Starry.
Yeah, but yeah, I only sipped it and that's it.
But we drank. That's the only day.
No. It wasn't. Well, point being, we had a sip. But let me tell you, we did talk about that in our last episode where we went to TJ and I met this nutritionist. Right, that's what he is, like a nutritionist, right? But he tells you, he tests your DNA through
No. He reads your frequency.
He reads your frequency through this machine. And so, he, like I said, he told us a lot of things about me, a lot of things about like how I needed and what I needed to do. And I know this is going to sound wild. And if you're not ready for this, then maybe this podcast ain't for you. But if I wanted to reach my highest potential, I needed to start changing my diet because my diet was affecting my mindset, and my mindset was not being able to get to my fullest potential or be able to like align with God properly, or well, not that maybe might be wrongly said, but align. No,
it could be
with
because
my higher self.
Sometimes with like certain things that you eat, like it doesn't let you think correctly.
That's true. Yeah. Obviously God's always with me, but in the sense that I felt,
but this way she can get closer because obviously your mind's clear.
And so, this was only me. I only went for my consultation and whatnot. And he was like, you got to do this. And, so he basically gave me the whole guideline, right? He turns to Eric. Oh, by the way, he praised Eric. I know he's an amazing man, but this man, He literally, I was like, okay, I get it. I can't leave Eric. I'm we're gonna be buried together, and then on the afterlife, and then in my next life when I reincarnated. Yeah, and then when I'm reincarnated, I'm gonna be with him. Like, I get it, you know? And so he turns to him and he's like, do you drink beer?
No, he told me to open my mouth. He's like, let me see. Like,
oh yeah, he's like, let me see your tongue. And so Eric like turns around. And guys, I've been telling Eric for years. This isn't stop drinking soda.
Stop drinking soda.
Because like I said, he doesn't drink soda. But if there's a soda there just sitting and he opens...
Okay, I used to.
That's why I said, and he would open the fridge. It was like almost like those moments where you see in movies where like people open the fridge and there's something and then there's like, you know, like literally that was him. And then next thing you know, he'd come in upstairs and be like, oh, that was good. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he'd be like, oh, it's because I just drink some soda. And I'm like, dude, it's 12 o'clock at night. Like, that's the worst thing you can do before going to bed, right? He never listened. But here comes Tío David telling him, oh, and he turns, he's like, you drink beer, huh? And he's like, sometimes. And I'm like, no, he does drink beer. He's like, okay. He's like, then you drink soda. And I'm like, yes, he does.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to stop drinking soda, because I'm starting to see a little like.
And I mean,
liver.
Being a nutritionist, he obviously knew what he was talking about.
Oh, so I don't know what I'm talking about, even though
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
So then he was like, no soda for you. And I turned to him and I'm like, ándale, dile algo. Dile que no, that he's wrong. Okay, now he knows it's right. He is down almost. He is finally at the weight he wanted after years of trying to get there. And all because, guys, like I said, sugar. And like I said, he wouldn't drink it often. It was like maybe once or twice a month that he would have soda, if anything.
No, I think it'd be like every weekend.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like once or twice when we would go to parties, or we would go. I mean, he would drink a lot in that 1 to 2 times a month, but like it was just that, you know. And so
one time there's a whole jarritos de tamarindo in the fridge, and I think I drank it like in one night. I would just keep going to the fridge and just chug it.
Exactly.
Not like I was like just going just for it, no, but like I would go to the fridge for something, like the kids were asking for something, or something, like Natalie wanted some water, but then I would drink water too, but then I would see, I was like, oh,
it's not the same. Like I carry like this big jug of water, and you know, I would tell him, you need to drink more water. And the only reason why I would tell him that is because I would see him drink soda here and there and drink beer. I don't drink beer, you know. I kind of was sticking to like hard liquor, but I knew the side effects of beer, and that's not being able to lose weight, retention. A beer belly, he had a beer belly. Like today I'm like, dude, you have a 6-pack, like. And he was like, what? I'm like, you have a 6-pack. Like he was even like, but that was like one of the things. And like I said, so I'm
getting lucky tonight.
So like I said, like your environment matters, your food, you know, what you do, like how you spend that time around, you know, your daily, your daily activities, your daily, you know, adventures, or I don't know, is that how you would say it? Yeah, right? Okay.
Yes,
it does have a big impact, you know. And so I think that's what had the biggest like effect in our transformation. Like what we ate, how we brought ourselves to the table around others, and having that boundary of knowing like, when you know what, when to say no, when things are for you and when things aren't for you, and realizing that at the end of the day, what you're doing in life is only gonna affect you. So think about it like next time, you know, you're somewhere and you're like, oh, am I doing this because I'm here to like have a good time and be with friends, or am I just doing this because I'm trying to, you know, please others, or I'm just trying to fit in, or I'm just trying to, you know, feel part of something, because you're having that emptiness, but that's because you haven't aligned to your higher purpose. you know, like you haven't gotten in tune with that part of you that will basically fill that void you feel, you know. And like I said, just because we had kids, you know, it was a very hard journey for us to start having kids, and that's why we took so long after having Julian to have another child. Even though I really wanted another child, I was like, are we gonna be able to do this? Like, how are we gonna do this? You know, like, we're still trying to discover ourselves. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. And for a long time, like, you know, I didn't want to go back to school. I didn't want to go back to the industry because I thought to myself that, you know, what are my kids gonna think? What is my husband gonna think? Like, how am I gonna deal with this as a mother? Like, how is the industry gonna see me? First of all, I'm a woman. Second of all, I'm a mother. Like, they're gonna tear me apart, you know? And like, and I, you know, none of that happened. I mean, obviously I'm just starting, but I know that as long as I understand that, and I know that that is my power and not my weakness, then I'm gonna accomplish a lot of things. And, you know, us as women, like, I think we have the hardest time trying to change that, trying to change our surroundings, trying to change all those stereotypes of thinking that you gotta be somehow, you gotta, you know, be at home, be a mother, cook, clean, be a wife. You know, what about the kids? Who's taking care of the kids? Honey, I take care of my kids. I take care of my husband. I take care of myself. I take care of everything that I want to do in my life, and I still show up. You know, so that has nothing to do with anything. But, you know, learning to discipline ourselves over comfort too. I think that was what our motto became. You know, like I said, we lived with our suegros, well, my suegros, for about a year or so, and it was one of the most uncomfortable situations, not because they were anything to us, but because we were living in a very small room,
all 5 of us,
with 3 children and a newborn,
6. It was a 6 of us,
and a dog. Like, just imagine that scenario.
Chloe. I miss Chloe.
And on top of that, it was like almost also like the discomfort of what people thought about us. Not that I really care, because I'm that type of person that I really don't care. Pero we were in our 30s. Like, 4 kids. And even though I knew in my mind, I'm like, no, we're doing this because I'm going back to school. Eric's going back to school.
That's the only reason
he just started a business, and we gotta do this. You know, like, we're not rich. We don't got money falling out of the sky for us yet. You know, and in time, you know. And so, like I said, that changing that surroundings of thinking that we need to have it all figured out and perfect, that's what helped us become us in the process, you know. Like, and then when we knew it was time to departure and grow and spread our wings, you know, we looked for our own place, we moved out, and we started having even a bigger mindset. I remember when we first moved here, oh my god, it was not easy, guys. It was not easy. It was not easy going from a 1-bedroom to a home. Obviously it was spacious, but it felt like a lot. It felt like a lot of a responsibility that we were putting on ourselves.
Only because I mean, obviously living with my parents, it's like, when my mom's there, if we ever needed anything, she can take care of the kids. And then
my mom was around the corner.
It was literally like 5 minutes away, so we could easily like dropped off or just left them with them and knew they were gonna get taken care of, because obviously it's grandma, you know what I mean. And we can definitely trust them to take care of them. But then now that we're 30 minutes away, it's like, it was more difficult, because like, okay, well, who can come? Can we take them? You know, it got a little bit more difficult. But I mean, hey, we figured it out.
Yeah, and not only that, I think also like figuring our roles in this situation, like you said, because we didn't have our backup, like my mom and his mom, you know. And so it was like trying to figure out, like, Eric, like, you're gonna go to work, but then I have school, but then And, and it was so hard because sometimes we would have discussions, where it was like, dude, like, I need you to, like, be here. And he'd be like, well, I have a signing. Well, I have school. Well, did you call your mom? No. Did you call? I'm like, no, like, who are we calling, And it wasn't an argument. It was just, it was
miscommunication.
No, not miscommunication, but because sometimes you didn't know you had a signing.
Well, obviously not, yeah.
But we kind of, like, were trying to juggle like each other without being a burden to each other, and so it got to a point where little by little, baby steps, we started figuring out, and we started communicating in that sense, like you said. We started to align and know that God was gonna take care of us in that aspect too. It wasn't gonna be easy, and we would make it happen. And so I think, like I said, just being able to get through all of that and being here today. And now that we talk about it, because we talk a lot. He says that I talk a lot, but we talk a lot together, But I think now that we sit here, we talk about things, we see our lives, we see where our lives are going. We now understand the importance of changing, changing our surroundings, changing or having boundaries, not being people pleasers, and
just being able to say no.
Yeah, and being able to be there for ourselves and for each other, but most important for ourselves. And like I said, I think we did all of that because we had faith. Our faith grew so much through the process, because there was times, guys, where we didn't know what our next move was. We didn't know how things were gonna get paid at times. We didn't know if Eric, because his job is like an up and down, right? Like, we didn't know if he was gonna have a busy month and I was gonna have to call off school maybe 1 or 2 days, or I was gonna have to take the kids, drop off the kids, go to school, come back, pick up the kids. I remember there was ones where I had to go drop off the kids, come back home, go to school, do everything I need to go to school, then come back home
and still pick up the kids.
And I was like, dude, I think that was one of the hardest days, because I got home and I was just done, right? And then you get home and then you're like, there's so much to do around the house, because I know my house looks clean. I know a lot of people question how I do it. I don't know. I think it's just my mindset too, that I'm always okay, let me at least keep the laundry going, let me at least keep their clothes put away. I always keep track of what needs to be done, and I'm not budging. I don't care if I go to sleep at 3 a.m. and have to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm getting shit done. But also I just had faith. I always told God, God, en tus manos, Diosito, and let it be what you want it to be. And if you want me to put this clothes away, you're gonna keep me up, and if not, you're gonna put me to sleep. And it's those type of what is it called, trust in him, that make the difference too, and who you become at the end of the day, and like I said, listen to your heart. That is heart. Your intuition is God. He is telling you what way to go. And if you don't feel like you're at peace, if you're unhappy, if your surroundings, the people that are around you, you're always fighting with those people, you're always in gossip, you're always in things that make you feel unease, that is not the place for you to be. Or where things just don't feel right, like I said. And I keep mentioning that because it's so true. If you don't feel you belong there, it's because you don't belong there. You don't. And so so what do you think is one thing you're proud we changed?
Honestly, for me, I think it's the mindset. I was being too negative.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, guys, you don't understand.
Yeah.
I would cry, literally.
Yeah.
And not because he did anything to me, but because I was like, dude, you just gotta believe. And it's so funny because there was times where I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And I would sit there and I'd be like, look, I know there's things that are happening right now, but just pray. I'm gonna pray on it. Just trust. I was like, and this is gonna happen. Guess what would happen the next day? I don't know, money would fall from the sky, literally like that, guys, literally like that. And he'd be like, what the, and like at first I don't think he understood what was happening, like,
yeah,
like,
I mean, I'm a very like logical and logic and reason.
Logic and reasoning,
for
which
me,
is
it
fine.
was like a lot of black and white.
I mean, but then again,
there's like no gray area.
Like there was no gray area. So now that he has changed that mindset completely,
yeah,
and sometimes he's just like, oh my god,
like I'm still not surprised, but it still like scares me. It still scares me, but it's more like I accept it. I'm like, you know what, like, yes, I accept it.
And he's also learning to accept the things that even when he asks for it, they're not happening, and I see it in him. Yeah, he's okay with, and he's starting to understand, like,
I mean, God didn't want to give me that not yet.
That what?
It's like God, I asked for it, but like, no, God says that I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, like he's like, it's not, and I'm like, yeah,
it's not your time.
It's not our time, and yeah, I think what I'm like most proud of us that we changed was the fact that we created our boundaries. And I think like it was really hard because I grew up in a household where boundaries were not a thing. We didn't, I was not taught that. We didn't understand that, and that wasn't like a sense of lifestyle to even think about, like boundaries, like eso que es, it's like no. And so having boundaries has made me so happy, because now we're like, oh no, like that, no, that's not happening. Like, it just because it benefits you doesn't mean that it benefits me. And it sounds selfish, but at the end of the day, like, it's not. Like, I can cater to others when I need to worry about my kids first. I need to worry about my husband first, and then I can assist you, or like then we can like have a car, like, and so that was one of the things that I felt like we changed, and I'm so proud that we did, and that we were on the same page. I think that's what I'm proud too, that we were always on the same page. Yeah. And as we changed together. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, Natalie is the crazy one over here, like believing that the world, and you're over here like, no, logic. Yeah. Which is okay if you want to be logical, but for us it wasn't a thing. And like I said, I've always respected however you want to live your life, people. However you want to live your life, I respect. And we both are very respectful in that sense. Like, however you want to live your life, as long as I think and I believe that you're happy, I'm all there. I'm gonna be your friend. I'm gonna support you through it. I'm gonna cheer you on. Like, I'm not here because I'm nobody to judge. I'm nobody to tell you anything. Like, I'm not. And so I think we both are great at that, and I think that's why we have become such, what is it, like, people to connect with. Like, we connect
easy to talk to.
Easy to talk to, like easygoing. We are creating relationships by the second with people that we've never even been friends with, and I feel like we've been best friends for like 10-15 years. So I love that. I love that for us. Okay, so what is one of the hardest things that you had to let go of?
Let go of? Oh, I don't know. That is a good question.
Mine was my ego.
Ego?
Yeah. Like, I knew that in order for me to become me, I had to let go of my ego.
Oh, yeah.
I had to stop being so like, no, my way or the highway.
Yeah, that was,
or like, I don't care what you want, it's what I want. And that it's very different from boundaries, because I was doing it because I was being a spoiled brat, and because I was being a brat, and because I was being, whatever I was taught to be as a carbohol, and I wasn't understanding that I had to, like I tell the kids, I had to be nice, I had to stop letting my ego be in control of me. And so I started to, understand that my husband needed understanding, that he was still learning, that he was still growing, that he was still becoming, and that the way he was raised was very different to the way I was raised, Education in my household was never important, ever. If I got a straight F's, my parents were like, oh, okay, and the day goes on. Right? He got enough. He was getting sent to military school at that point.
If got to that. I never did. I mean, the lowest I got was a C.
But you know what I mean? Like,
but it was like honors. Anatomy and physiology. And the only reason too is because I was playing soccer at the time, so obviously I didn't go to certain classes since we were going to like away games.
Okay, we all know you're very smart. Okay, you don't gotta throw it out there. Just kidding.
Dissecting cats and shit like that.
But
it smelled. But it was fun.
No. So obviously, like, that was a big part of me, having to understand that and, let go of that. Let go of my ego. Let go of, like, what I thought was, like I said, what I wanted, the highway. I mean, what is
My
it?
My
way or the highway. I even had a shirt like that, and I literally would wear it. Remember? My way or the highway? It was like brownish.
Yeah.
I literally would stand by that. But not no more, guys, because it's not my way. It's God's way.
It's God's way, yeah.
So you don't feel like you had to let things...
No, obviously I had something. I just can't think of it. I mean, I can't think of how I can explain it, because I would always like... You always tell me too, because I have a hard time like speaking up for myself.
Oh yeah.
So that's like, how do you explain that? Like, I'm getting a lot better at it. So
like letting go of like not standing up for yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
Like not speaking up.
Yeah, not speaking up. There you go. Yeah. So I mean, I've been doing a better job, because I'll be like, okay, well, it's happening, so let me just let it happen, type of thing. So yeah, that's a difficult one.
Okay, so last question, so that we can go to sleep, because you should see the setup.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys probably hear Eliana snoring.
Like last time, remember, I don't know if it was in the first episode or second episode, you literally could hear her snoring. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, girl, you snore. Yeah. But you should see the setup. The bed has both of our computers, has all the audio stuff, and
Eliana right in the middle.
And Eliana's right in the middle, full of cables. This is what I'm talking about. Nothing's stopping us from making our dreams come a reality. But anyways, last question before we gotta go. So, do you feel like we're becoming who we prayed to be?
Yes.
Yeah?
I think so.
Does it scare you to like see it happen? Or does it make you...
Like before it would have scared me, but not anymore.
You know what? It's not scary. Yeah. I think it's like... I don't even know what the feeling you can say it is. Like, overwhelmed.
It's not even overwhelming. It's just like, it's happiness.
Like, yeah, like joy.
Yeah.
It makes me very joyful.
It makes me happy.
It makes me very joyful. And I think that's one of the things that our surroundings change. Our surroundings feel joyful, feel peaceful, feel... And I feel like we've even had these conversations. Like, obviously life is not gonna be this perfect always. There's gonna be things that are gonna happen in the way, rocks, like in the way. But I think as long as we stay faithful, we stay true to, praying and just like trusting, I think we're gonna continue to have this
process,
like continue this peaceful sense of like we're gonna be okay, we're gonna be fine, and this is where we're supposed to be, how it's meant to be, who we're supposed to be with. And it just makes me happy. Like it truly makes me happy. And like I know that the people that need to be in this process with us will stay with us, and God will keep them there. And you know, like, nobody's gonna get pushed out or pushed in or anything, like. And like I said, like, a lot of the times I felt like people thought that I had like just cut them off or like anything. It wasn't personal. It wasn't for anything. It was for my personal growth. It was because I was learning to almost isolate myself first, work on myself before I could put myself back in those situations, in those what is it called, in those places, right? Like without losing myself again, without not staying true to myself and my authenticity, and being, you know, transparent. Like, I wanted to be ready to be like, okay, I can go to a party and not want to please everybody, and not want to be like whatever I was used to and be, you know, to like black out. Like I said, like, and I didn't want to end up in therapy. You know, no shade on that. I think therapy is perfect. I was in therapy when I was younger, as a child, and but I don't want to be in therapy. You know. But yeah, guys, I think that was everything for tonight, and I think it was very therapeutic. Really, you know, and obviously I think the more we get into these podcasts, the more we'll probably deep dive in more into the psychological part of it. And I think it, like I said, it has to do a lot with our childhood, with how we were raised. And honestly, now that I think about it more and more, our kids have had a big impact. Seeing them grow and who they're growing into has taught us how to be humans. Like, besides being parents, obviously they've taught us to be parents, but they've taught us to be human. Like, enjoy life, love life.
You definitely have a different perspective as a parent.
Yes. So if anything, we're just happy that we are becoming who we are, and thank you, God, for everything. And yeah, guys, is there anything you want to say?
No. Any questions? Feel free to reach out.
Reach out.
Any topics you guys want to learn about?
Any topics will be greatly appreciated for us to. I know a lot of people keep requesting me to talk about, you know, our organic life, and like, or our, I call it organic life because that's just what I call it, guys. Obviously it's just like a regular life, a life change, but honestly, we can't even talk about it all in one in like one episode. I think like it has to be cut into sections because it's so much, and even us that we've been doing it for so long, we're still learning. So and like I said, like you can always become any version of yourself in the same environment that keeps you stuck, right? So like, you can become a new version of yourself in the same environment that keeps you stuck. So remember that sometimes we got to take ourselves out of those environments, which is also mindsets, in order to, you know, become who we want to become, or become our who we're meant to be. And growth isn't just about adding things. Sometimes it's about removing what no longer fits. Same thing. You know, our egos, our negative thoughts. Just, you know, fix that before anything else, and you guys will start to see the magic happen and revealed in front of you guys. And and like I said, always pray, always keep God in front. And so until next time, guys.
Till next time.
Thank you for listening to our lovely chaos.
Bye.
Bye.